What up, peeps, and welcome to another pickup video. This is the first one that I'm filming with my new microphone, which you can probably see right here, so hopefully the sound is a lot better. There's probably other videos that have come out on this channel already that I filmed with the microphone, but this is the first pickup video that I'm filming, so there we go. As always, this is going to be kind of a longer video, so make sure you grab a snack, a drink, something like that, and let's just jump into it. We're going to start off with the stuff that's not actual games, like always. And I have a couple things here that I got from Japan. We were placing an order for the store for a bunch of plushies, and I was seeing what else they had. So I picked up a Pikmin whistle, which is really, really cool. If you guys have played Pikmin, a whistle plays a big part of the game, so it's like one of the main things that you have. So that's kind of cool. I also got this little Pikmin 3 red Pikmin kind of like keychain thing. It's got all three of them there with the leaf, the bud, and the flower. And then I also picked up this Pokemon coin, which is like, it's got Arceus on it, but also has Palkia, Giratina, and Dialga. And I think it said like 2009. I think it's from Pikachu the movie. Not 100% sure, but pretty cool. I really, really like Arceus. I really love the Arceus game for Switch. So anything Arceus related, I'm usually gonna try to pick up. And then those are all of kind of like the toys and stuff like that. I do have some movies and one CD here. Never seen this before. From what I understand, it's just a collection of songs that I don't know if they even have anything to do with Nintendo, but this is a Nintendo CD called White Knuckle Scorin', and it's got the Nintendo logo right on there. It also has copyright 1991 Nintendo on the back, and it's got like Jellyfish, Crosby, Stills and Nash, Roy Orbison, Dire Straits. So yeah, I don't know. Very interesting, but this came into the store in a trade and I was like, I have to have that. I also got a couple DVDs here, which I don't normally show you guys, but I do add a little bit of VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray stuff to the collection every now and then. But because I got all three of these kind of at the same time, just figured I would show them. But we have a Pokemon Blastoise DVD. We have this Johto League Champions DVD. And we have Pikachu's Winter Vacation, which I know is a popular little Pokemon movie, but I have never seen that one, so maybe I'll watch it after this video when I'm putting everything away. I normally do that. I put something on the TV usually while I'm putting stuff away. So, I think that's actually everything. Well, I do have like a couple consoles, which I guess I'll go into now, but then after that, it's going to be all video games. So, first up, I got a PlayStation 1, the PSONE. This is the Model 2, the Mini, the Junior, whatever you want to call it. And this is just a box variant that I did not have. This got traded into the store along with an NES top loader in box, an N64 in box, and a Super Nintendo Zelda bundle in box. But I already had the other three. I took mine to the store to compare condition. Mine were, I didn't upgrade anything basically, but that PS1 I did not have, so that's a cool addition to the collection. I have not added a PlayStation console to my collection in a very, very long time, because at this point I'm only collecting PS1 and PS2, and I'm looking at them up here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different PS2 console bundles, and I think I had 3 or 4 different PS1s, so that was just one I didn't have, kind of cool. The other one though is pretty special, and this was actually a gift from Abby. I don't even know when. This was a very, very long time ago, probably well over a year ago, but we were missing the game to complete it, and I finally was able to get one when we made that order from Japan. They finally had a copy of the game that was complete in box, and that's what I needed to complete this, and this is the Gundam Char Game Boy Advance SP, which comes with the Gundam game, but this is a special edition console. You can see it's got the like Gundam logo on the top, and it's all red and black. Really, really cool. We were only missing that game for such a long time, and I got the game for like 18 bucks, which is pretty cheap because this is almost like $300 complete in box like this. So huge shout out to my girlfriend Abby. That is awesome. And that's it for all of that kind of stuff. So I have games here, obviously, for Nintendo Switch. We always do. I have a big stack of Super Nintendo. We have some GameCube, NES, PS1, DS, 3DS, Game Boy Advance, and one PS2 game, which I will start with, and that is Soccer Mania. So this one's kind of interesting because this is a Lego game, but it's not called Lego Soccer Mania. It's just called Soccer Mania. I think that's kind of interesting. They also did a game called Drone Racers, which is technically a Lego game, but I don't think Lego is in the title on that one either. But super interesting. Never seen this game before, so when it came in at the store, I was like, oh man, gotta have that. It's only a $10 game, but still, those are the games that I'm trying to add to my collection. I'm focusing on Super Nintendo, obviously, and I'm just going after everything I don't have. But when it comes to the consoles that I do collect for, but I'm not focusing on, like PS2 or DS or something like that, I'm usually just trying to add the games to my collection that when they come into the store, I've never seen them or heard of them before, or they're more uncommon or rare, and I just don't have them yet. So by the time I am ready to focus on PS2, hopefully I have most of the hard to find and really uncommon stuff out of the way. So, moving on, let's stick with PlayStation and go with PS1 because I only have 2 games here. They're nothing special. It's just another case of these are games that maybe I've actually heard of these ones, but they've like never come into our store before. And that is Roll Cage Stage 2 and also Daredevil Derby 3D. So, had to get them. Both cheap games once again, but still pretty cool. Let's move on to GameCube. As you guys may or may not know, I do have a full North American set of GameCube games, and I have a bunch of variants and special editions and all the big box stuff, but I'm working on the Player's Choice set now very slowly. I'm not like actively seeking them out, but when Player's Choice games come in at the store, I will look at the list and see if they are ones I need, and if they're complete and they're in good condition, I'll add them to the set, which is what I did with these two. First one is Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, and also Smash. So, pretty cool. Next, let's go to NES. I only have a couple things here. First up is a cartridge that I already had the box manual for. It's back here somewhere. Where is it? Right here. Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. I didn't have the cartridge, and now I finally do. We get this game in at the store every now and then, but the label is always ripped up. So I was waiting for a really nice one to come in, so now I can complete that. And the other one, you might notice, I don't know if you can see down here, there's a gap right here next to Mario 3, because I did a very nice condition upgrade for Mario 2, and I already took my old one to the store, but this one has the plastic on the box, and if you guys know me, you know I love finding games like that. So it's not factory sealed, it's cut open at the top, but it still has that original seal on the majority of the box, and that makes the edges and the corners usually super crisp and no edge wear, which I think this is the coolest / best way to get games, because it's almost guaranteeing, assuming that they haven't been crushed, it's like the best way to get them in the best condition without it actually being sealed, so you can still open it and play the game. So super cool, love it. I do have one Nintendo Wii game to show you guys as well. This is a game that I have known about, or this version of the game I have known about for quite some time, but one has never come into the store until now, and I've been waiting, and that is the limited edition steelbook version of Cursed Mountain. Very uncommon, kind of expensive for a Wii game, but really, really cool. One of the few like survival horror games for the Wii, I'm pretty sure. I'm not really big into it, but it is still really, really cool. That's a limited edition Wii game that you don't see very often. There aren't even that many limited edition games for the Wii to begin with, so gotta get that one, of course. Let's move on to DS and 3DS. Now, this first DS game I've never heard of. It actually looks pretty cool. It looks like a little sort of like puzzle game, which I do enjoy. And I'm probably not going to pronounce it correctly, but Kurupoto, Cool Stars? You can let me know in the comments if I'm saying it right or wrong, but I've never seen this game before. It's very, very cheap, but like I said, the games I've never seen or heard of before after collecting for I don't know how many years, 15, 16, 17 years, and then owning my store for 6 years. When a game comes in that I've never seen before, it's usually kind of uncommon. The other DS game that I got completes the trilogy for me, and that is Lost in Blue 3. So I had Lost in Blue 1 and 2 already. This one is kind of uncommon, so had to keep that. And then one 3DS game that was on my list, and that's Pac-Man and Galaga Dimensions. Nothing too crazy, just another 3DS game that I did not have. And for a while, I was always focused, well, for the last like year and a half, I've been focusing on Super Nintendo, but 3DS was kind of like, I would joke that like I'm majoring in Super Nintendo and my minor is in 3DS. So I was kind of going after a lot of 3DS games, but I kind of realized that I was nowhere near as close to finishing that set as I thought that I was. So I still need a ton of games for it, especially because a lot of the 3DS games that I have are factory sealed. I want to obviously replace those with complete copies. So I need a ton of 3DS games still, and so I've kind of taken a back seat to minoring in 3DS, if that makes any sense. Moving on, we have some Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. I do have some loose cartridges here first to complete boxes I already had. We have Pac-Man Collection. Label's a little bit faded, but can't really complain too much. Also, Codename Kids Next Door Volume 1 for the GBA video. And then for the original Game Boy, World, Bowling, and Animaniacs, both also with like slightly faded labels. But it's hard to complain. I've been looking, I've had these games on my wish list at the store for a while, and every time they come in, they're never in, great condition. So they're cheaper games. I'm just like, whatever, I'll add them to the collection now. If I want to upgrade the condition in the future, I will, but it's honestly not a big deal. And the last one is Game Boy Color Lego Island 2. And then for the boxed ones here, I have 2 Game Boy Advance games. We have Quad Desert Fury. I already had this game, but my copy was factory sealed, so I swapped it out for this complete one that came in at the store. And then also The Incredibles, Rise of the Underminer. I almost said Lego Incredibles, but it's not the Lego version. And then one original Game Boy game. I always love getting these because they're just, even the most common boxed Game Boy games are still pretty uncommon. This is just a baseball game, but it's Ken Griffey Jr. Presents Major League Baseball. It's got one of those Nintendo new release stickers on there. My copy of Wario Land 2 or Wario Land 3 also has one of those stickers, so kind of cool. Let's move on to Nintendo Switch before we finish up with Super Nintendo. Looking at the time of this video so far, this might end up being a little bit shorter of a pickup video for me, but there is still a lot to go through. So, first up, Nintendo Switch, big box stuff. I did an entire video about this, the Nintendo World Championships NES Edition Deluxe Set. This is really, really cool. I was sent this by Nintendo, which I talked a little bit about in the video where I like unboxed this and played the game and gave my first impressions. But I just wanted to reiterate here that like working with Nintendo or having a video sponsored by them, having a product sent to me directly from Nintendo, this was not sent through some like weird third-party marketing thing. I actually was able to meet the person who works at Nintendo who contacted me to send me this because when we were vending at Geek Fest up in Everett, Washington, that's pretty close to where Nintendo's headquarters are, and the person that works at Nintendo saw that we were going to be there and came up to the booth and was talking to me about stuff. And it's so cool to officially work with Nintendo like that. And, it's one thing to go to their website and buy a game and they ship it to you, whatever, but to have them reach out to me and be like, hey, we want to send you this game so that you can play it and talk about it on your YouTube channel is super, super cool. And I still can't really get over it. Also, when I was talking to the lady at the convention, she was telling me that they've basically already vetted my channel here. So if there's any games coming out in the future that I want them to send me so that I can do an unboxing or a review of, they will do so, which is incredible because there's some games where the limited editions are super hard to get, and I'm hoping that maybe I'll be able to get some stuff like that in the future. I have a little bit of an easier time getting those things normally because of the store, of Double Jump, but we don't get everything, right? And sometimes there are exclusive products to the Nintendo store in New York City. I don't know if they would ever be able to get me that kind of stuff, but if they can, I'll be requesting it. So shout out to Nintendo for sending this to me, and I guess for vetting my channel because it's super cool. I love it, and that game is a lot of fun. I know it's a little different, or it wasn't as much as people were hoping it was. I thought it was fun. I'm definitely going to keep playing. Next up is Clive and Wrench Collector's Edition. Just a little, reminds me of Ratchet and Clank, obviously, but it's just like a little 3D platform puzzle kind of game. We got the collector's edition, and the regular one is in here in this stack somewhere. That's it for the like big box stuff, and then we have the Pathless. This is another game where I only had it factory sealed, so I'm swapping it out for this one. Couple new releases: B Project Ryusei Fantasia, Tokyo Xanadu EX Plus. I think it's Eichenfell or Eichenfell, not sure. Mercenaries Lament Requiem of the Silver Wolf. Bitmap Bureau Collection, which has Xenocrisis, Battle Axe, and Final Vendetta. All 3 games look awesome on the back here. Run and gun, hack and slash, and beat 'em up. Love beat 'em ups, so super cool. One Piece Odyssey Deluxe Edition. Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires. This one also looks really good. Super Alloy Ranger. Looks like a Metroidvania style game with like 16-bit graphics, but it looks really, really good. Then we have Neon Abyss. We have Saga Emerald Beyond. This was a PlayAsia exclusive. And, excuse me, a couple of our distributors have deals with PlayAsia to get some of their releases. And I haven't really been collecting a lot of import stuff. Because there's too many Switch games already. I've kind of just been focusing on North American releases only, but we got all these together, so there are a couple in here that I decided to add to the collection. That is one of them. Another one here is the Ninja Gaiden Master Collection. And is there another one? Okay, so those are the only 2 import games, but still, they're cool enough to add to the collection. Next one. This is a PSA 10 Gem Mint 1 of 1 LOL Surprise BB's Born to Travel. And this game came in at the store, and Bobby was like, hey, do you need this game? We've never had it in before. That's usually an indicator for my employees. If we've never had the game, chances are I probably don't have it. So they always ask me, and this is one that I did not have. And then Bobby was like, okay, I'll take it out for you. And then he brought it back to me like this. Unfortunately, this will not physically fit on my shelf, so I have to open it. But it was kind of funny, and I wanted to leave it in there for the pickup video so you guys could see. Next, we have Blood Rain Revamped, the first one. We also have Colors Live, or Colors Live, I guess. I'm not sure. This one originally comes with a pen, which I'm just now realizing I didn't even grab the cartridge from the store, so I'll have to do that. It did not come with the pen. It comes in like a bigger cardboard box. I remember seeing it at Target or Walmart or something. So I'll probably have to get that in the future, but for now that's fine. We have the Clive and Wrench Normal Edition. We also have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge Anniversary Edition. I haven't done any research, but it looks like from the back it includes the Dimension Shell Shock DLC, new playable characters, brand new survival mode, exclusive color palettes. Pretty cool. We also have Diablo 3 Eternal Collection with exclusive Ganondorf armor set. That's cool. I played Diablo 3 on the Switch, and I feel like, I don't know if this is a different version or what, but when I saw this, I was like, I have to have that because I played it, but it wasn't in my spreadsheet, so I don't know. I'll look after. We have Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. I've only ever really played the first 1 or 2, and they're okay. I'm not the biggest Crash fan, but I like him as a character. The games are just, they're all right. We have the Lego Movie 2. We have the Lego Incredibles. And we have another puzzle game, which from the back, it looks like it's probably similar to Monkey Ball, which is pretty cool, and that's Marble It Up Ultra. Very nice. All right, so that's everything before Nintendo, Super Nintendo, sorry. So I do have 3 cartridges here that I already had the boxes for, so we are completing them, and the first one is Batman Returns. We also have Mortal Kombat 3, and lastly, Indiana Jones Greatest Adventures. Pretty awesome. I do also have a stack of instruction manuals here for boxes that we already have. Some of these I picked up at the conventions, Southeast Game Exchange and Geek Fest, but some of these I also got in a trade through the mail with someone who originally I got in contact with through eBay. I think I was buying something from them, and then they started watching our videos. We've emailed a bunch of times, doing some trades here and there. So in no particular order, we have Alien versus Predator. We have Boogerman, which was one of the bigger manuals that I needed. Chester Cheetah, Too Cool to Fool. Wayne's World. Pro Sport Hockey, and Kid Clown in Crazy Chase. I love getting manuals and cartridges and completing boxes that I already have on the wall over here. I'm hoping that I can get caught up with all the manuals and cartridges that I need, so that when I do get down to the end of the Super Nintendo set, I just need to get like one complete game, and I'll be looking for that and hunting for that in person at conventions and game stores, and it's going to be so cool. I'm actually starting a series on the channel, little preview for you. Not exactly sure on what I'm going to call the playlist of all the episodes, because they're all going to have different video titles, obviously, but it's going to be something like the SNES Quest. I don't ever call it the SNES. I know a lot of people do. I always call it Super Nintendo, but just rolls off the tongue, SNES Quest, right? So it's going to be a series of videos on the channel where I am going to conventions, going to game stores, going game hunting, taking road trips, whatever it is, and I'm going to be looking for the remaining Super Nintendo games that I need to finish the North American library, all complete in box, of course. I've already filmed the first episode. It may be out by the time this pickup video goes up. I do not know. I don't have a set schedule for when the videos go live. Every week we just pick one to edit. We're a few videos ahead right now, so the Super Nintendo one may be going out before this pickup video, but it also may not be. So if it's not out yet, it's coming soon. I hope you guys are looking forward to it. But let's get into the rest of the Super Nintendo stuff here. So these, for the most part, are all complete. I believe that there's maybe 2 or 3 of them that don't have instruction manuals, but I've added those manuals to my list to hunt for now. So I will try to kind of save the best for last, but other than that, they will be in no particular order here, and these came from all over. If you're watching my other videos on the channel, you will probably have seen most of these get picked up, but pickup video, gotta show everything, right? So first up, one accessory, and that is the Super Game Boy. This is the big box version. So right down here, this is the, there's some dust bunnies on it. This is the version that I had previously. This is the small box version, and I had to get the big box version as well. Gotta have both, of course. This one, the big box one, is much more expensive than the small box version. They're both cool, but obviously gotta get both. And that box is the same size as the Earthbound box or the Mario Paint box. So if you have one and you need a box protector, you can go to retroprotection.com. Obviously not sponsored, it's just the place that we use. And you can get the Earthbound box protector, and it'll work for that one or Mario Paint. The Super Bomberman one that I have down here is wider, so the Earthbound box protector does not work for that. It also does not work for Lethal Enforcers, which is bigger, but it works for the Super Game Boy, so little tip just in case you needed one. And then on to the games, we have Kawasaki Caribbean Challenge, or Caribbean Challenge, however it's said, I don't know. Then we have Justice League Task Force. This one does not have a cartridge, if I'm remembering correctly. There's not one in here for sure. Some of these, though, did not have manuals. Some of them did not have cartridges. Some of them are complete. Next up, this is just a condition upgrade, but it's Lester the Unlikely. And I upgraded a normal complete copy to one that has the plastic on the box. Beautiful. Same thing with this one, Demolition Man. Upgraded a complete one to one that has the plastic on the box. And same with this one, Time Slip. Plastic on there, nice upgrade. And then there's one more condition upgrade with the plastic on the box, but I'm going to save that one for towards the end because it is one of the more expensive ones. So moving on, we have Dennis the Menace. This one has no cartridge. Same with ESPN Speed World. No cartridge on that guy. Then we have Super Goal 2. Pretty uncommon, hard to find game. We also have F1 Pole Position, which some of these games like Super Goal 2, F1 Pole Position, Dennis the Menace, ESPN Speed World, these are games that seem like they would be pretty easy to find and pretty common. and maybe loose cartridges they are, but some of these games, you look on price charting and it's like 30 or 40 bucks, but only 1 or 2 has sold in the past 3 years. And those are the really, really hard to find games. You can find Chrono Trigger every day, all day. You can find Final Fantasy and Earthbound and all that kind of stuff. Even Aero Fighters, I have now seen complete in box before seeing some of these other types of games, which is really, really crazy. They're obviously not worth as much, but in terms of actual rarity, when you're talking about the complete in box version, like F1 pole position, complete in box for Super Nintendo, way more rare than a complete in box Chrono Trigger. Sounds crazy to say, and obviously the price doesn't match up, but I think this is way harder to find than Chrono Trigger. Moving on, we have Math Blaster Episode 1, which as far as I know, they never did an Episode 2, at least not on Super Nintendo. We have the other Kawasaki game, Super Bike Challenge. Both of those pretty hard to find. Then we have California Games 2. This is probably one of my best pickups from the Southeast Game Exchange in terms of like what I paid for it versus what it's worth. Didn't have a price on it. The guy was like, you know, he looked it up on price charting, I assume. And at the time, because it always fluctuates, it was like 60, like 58, 65, something around there. And he's like, oh, how about 20 bucks? I was like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, it's got a sticker on the cartridge or something. And I was like, okay. So 20 bucks for I mean, that's like the cheapest amount that I've paid for a boxed Super Nintendo game in a long time. That's including sports games and everything. They're always over 20 bucks. So to get a hard to find one for 20 is crazy. And if that was you, I appreciate the deal. Next up, this is a box variant. This is box only, so I do need a manual and cartridge to complete it. But it's for Family Feud. You can see it's got all this red on the bottom of the box, and then the logo is written out like this. I'm going to come over here and grab my other copy of the game. No! What the heck? So, mine are both the same here, which they were not supposed to be. When I saw this, I was like, that looks different and it looks weird. I pulled up a video on my channel where I think it was called the I Love Collecting Super Nintendo, something like that. I was looking through and I saw the Family Feud game and it did not have this logo. So after that video, but before getting this one, I must have done a condition upgrade and didn't notice. There's 2 different boxes for Family Feud, and I thought that I had the other one on the wall, and I did. I was able to pause in the video and I could clearly see it. So that sucks, but this logo on the front where it's Family and then Feud stacked up like that, the other box has that logo on the side and only takes up about this much room. So I guess I don't need this box, but I do want the other one, which I seriously thought that I had. That kind of sucks, but what are you gonna do? That is sad. So I will have to find that now. Continuing on, we have Super Baseball 2020. No cardboard insert for that one, but I have a couple extra ones chilling right here. Normally I would just do this after I'm done filming, but there it is. Now it's all fully complete, minus the baggie for the cartridge. But to get official baggies for every game for Super Nintendo, I mean, eventually I'd like to do it, but that's going to be insane. I'm over halfway on N64 though, which is pretty cool. Next up is a newer release, and that is Sydney Hunter and the Caverns of Death by CollectorVision Games, and I got it signed by, right there, by John Lester, Gamester81 here on YouTube. He was at the Southeast Game Exchange, and I saw this from my friends at Secret Castle Games, so I bought it from them, walked right over, had John sign it. I even filmed it, so it's in one of the videos. But John, and I believe I've said this before, Gamester81, John, is one of the nicest people I have ever met. Especially the nicest YouTuber I've ever met. He will take half an hour out of his day to stand there and have a conversation with you, and he has no ego. He does not think that he's better than anyone else. He will talk to anyone, doesn't matter. And I talked to him at one of the PRGEs while his family was there, and he was just so nice and so gracious, and I don't know if he knows who I am or if he remembers my face or anything like that, but it doesn't matter. He is one of the nicest and most genuine people I've ever met. So big shout out to him. If you guys want to go check out his channel, Gamester81, let him know that I sent you. That would be super awesome, because I do not have enough nice things to say about that guy. He is incredible. Moving on, we have the last FIFA game that I needed, and that's FIFA Soccer 97. This one also does not have the cardboard insert, and guess what? I have another one right here. This is the last one that I have sitting here, though. These are also aftermarket cardboard inserts, so not ideal for me personally, but it's not a huge deal now that it's not going to be flopping around in there. Next up, we're getting into the more expensive, hard to find stuff. We have Super Soccer Champ. Nothing too exciting with that one, but let's get into the cooler one. So this one is one that I've never seen in the box before. I've seen a couple loose cartridges over the years, but that is Time Tracks. So I was very glad to find that at the show. I also have Saturday Night Slam Masters. We've gotten this cartridge plenty of times at the store, but never a complete in-box copy. And I traded Secret Castle Games a sealed, graded Star Wars Arcade for 32X straight across for this, which very gracious of them to do so. The graded stuff is not easy to sell, so they'll probably would have had an easier time selling this than what they traded for, but very nice of them to do that. I have 3 games left. The first one is that last condition upgrade with the plastic on it, and that is for Robotrek. And if you guys know about this game, it is pretty expensive, like a few $100s expensive, but to get it with the plastic like this, you know, who knows? Sometimes games with the plastic on them can sell for double or even triple the price charting price, because it's just the best way to get them as mint as possible. And there are some hardcore collectors who really, really pay up for that kind of stuff. I am not one of them. I'm willing to pay maybe a little bit more than normal to get it with the plastic on it, but double or triple price charting is insane. I get it. I'm just not that buyer. Next up, we have the most expensive one, and that is Fun and Games. This is one that if you're not big into collecting, you maybe have never seen or heard of before. It is a very uncommon game. You can use the Super Nintendo mouse with it. It's kind of just like a crappy little like collection of stupid stuff. Paint, music, style, and games. There's no cartridge in here, but the cartridge for this is like 30 or 40 bucks. The complete in box version, which means the box and manual are the expensive pieces, goes for like $600 to $700. So getting it without the cartridge, perfectly fine with that, because I'll be able to get one for like 30 or 40 bucks and then be able to complete that, which is super cool. But we're going to finish off with something that I think it's definitely, well, I guess I don't know for sure. I don't think it's as expensive as Fun and Games, but I think it's way more rare. Let me take it out of the protector here. This is technically a condition upgrade, but kind of adding something else in with it. And it looks like I already took my other copy to the store, so I don't have that to show you, but this is Captain Novolin for the Super Nintendo. And if you guys don't know, there were 3, maybe 4 like medical educational games that came out for the Super Nintendo. Captain Novolin is one of them. There's I believe Rex Ronan, Experimental Surgeon, and I think Packy and Marlin, which are 2 games I do not have yet because they're very, very hard to find. But what makes this particular version special is that it comes with this slipcover. Now, Novo Nordisk is the company that I guess sponsored this. They definitely didn't make it because they're not a game development company. They are a pharmaceutical company, and if you look them up, they are still massive, like multi-billion-dollar corporation type thing. And I guess they like sponsored these games to be made, but this particular slipcover, until I saw it here, I did not know that it even existed. I don't know if these exist for the other educational medical games that are on Super Nintendo. If they do, or if you know anything about them, please let me know down in the comments because I would love to know. But this is from a diabetes center in Billings, Montana. It's got a bunch of writing and stickers and stuff on it, which probably impossible to avoid with something like this, but you can see Novo right there. Probably said Nordisk right there. So this is like an official thing that goes with it. And the box just slides right in. And then luckily it doesn't take up too much room. So it goes right back into the box protector. But this is incredible. My copy did not have the slipcover. Obviously, like I said, I didn't even know that it existed. And a guy brought this to my booth at GeekFest, and he's like, hey, do you need Captain Novolin for your collection? And I said, nope, I already have it. I checked my list, and I was like, well, I do need a cartridge, but I have the box and manual. And then he's like, oh yeah, I got mine at PRGE a couple years ago, and you know, it's fully complete. It's got the slipcover and everything. And I was like, wait a minute, what slipcover? And I was like, do you have it with you? And he said, yeah, it's in my backpack. So he pulled it out and he showed it to me, and my mind was instantly blown because I didn't know that it existed. And I asked what he wanted for it because I was like, well, you know, minimum, I want that slipcover, but I also need the cartridge. So buying another complete copy isn't the biggest deal in the world. I can complete mine, get the slipcover, and then I'll have an extra box and manual to sell at the store. He gave me a price, which was under price charting, which I obviously didn't expect. And I was like, yes, of course, I will take it. It wasn't insanely cheap or anything. It was still hundreds and hundreds of dollars, but still really, really cool piece. Super, super rare from what I can tell. Obviously, I've been collecting Super Nintendo pretty hardcore for a while now. I almost have the full set, and I did not even know that this existed. So if you know if they made slipcovers for the other games, please let me know in those comments down below. And if you happen to have one and you're willing to sell it or trade it, also let me know. So that is it for this one, guys. We're going to use the keyword educational because Captain Novolin, of course. So use the word educational in your comment down below. That'll tell me you watched the entire video and you didn't skip forward like the rats that do. I don't think anyone does. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.